So my first question goes to Mark, who represents Yell. Is Yellow Page usage going down?
Interesting question. I think that typically the way that Yellow Pages usage is characterized is you have simple and complex usage. And simple usage is I know the name of my plumber, and I'm going to use the Yellow Pages just to find the name. And that usage over the last 5 years has declined. Core complex search traffic in Yellow Pages, at least in the UK, has not declined significantly over the last 5 years. And actually, interesting enough, if you think about our business, we're a transaction business. We drive probably 60 million phone calls a year into UK businesses from our online products and from our print products. And they are roughly equal in terms of their contribution right now. And roughly, our estimates, if you exclude the automotive categories and other kinds of complex search categories, we roughly, at this point, control something like between 55 and 60% of the directed search in the UK. And we're not seeing a decline, a precipitous decline in terms of the print usage, which is, at one level, kind of a head scratcher for us, because we are seeing increased usage, particularly in the mobile side of the business. So the answer is no, but it's qualified by the fact that with the searches that we were never able to monetize, which are those name and mine searches, they have fallen off, and people actually, traditionally get those through Google. But our biggest source of traffic outside of our owned and operated traffic is actually people going into Google using it as a browser and typing in Yell.
So despite our initial thought, Yellow Page usage, the traditional way by the incumbent, is not declining. You're not going to talk about monetization yet.
Okay.
I would like to know from John, what is Reachlocal doing, and to what extent are you relevant to local advertisers?
Yeah, thank you, Mark, as well for letting us be here today. I mean, we essentially, for the past 5 years since the company was originated, believe that the $60 billion a year local market is in play. Local businesses many of them are satisfied, but many more are frustrated and are increasingly experiencing high levels of anxiety around the fact that marketing is a more complex proposition for them today. When you look at the macro trends, the share shift from offline to online is real, and it's real and local, and companies, including Yell, are all doing some wonderful things to address that. Our main value proposition is to be an agnostic technology platform that works with small businesses to get them business, because especially in this economic environment, that's what they want. We have found that PPC and search is a phenomenal solution for many businesses, but we also, in 2009 and 2010, have been very effective in getting SMBs a solution in the display market and in the social media market. So for the company, our goal is to continue to expand our geographic footprint. We now have 38 offices in roughly 3 continents, but also to continue to introduce to small businesses the education and the product suites that are needed for them to stay competitive in this market.
How many customers do you have?
So we run today roughly 27,000 campaigns around the world. And the Reachlocal customer base can be anyone as small as a local plumber in Kensington to a physiotherapist who has 30 units across the New York metro area. So again, the main issue is that segment of the market that is not traditionally gone to an agency solution, nor feels that self-service is enough of a solution for their marketing needs, because it's a big part of their P&L.
Right. Mark, to what extent has your Salesforce embraced the online opportunity? What are your products, and can I, as a Yell customer, book Google advertising through your Salesforce?
Sure. You know, right now we sell 1,000 Google accounts a week in the UK. We have about 25,000 accounts up and running today. We sell about, you know, just under 1,000 accounts a week, and we expect that to go probably up to around 1,200 accounts, you know, mid-year next year. So every one of our salespeople in the marketplace today actually sells Google's product. You know, there's no distinction in the way that we train our salespeople between the online products and the offline products, because as I said before, it's a transactional business. And I mean, I think John's, you know, hit the nail on the head. You know, our business gets better because of Reachlocal and other people, because they make us work harder because they're good at what they do, you know, is really centered on two things. One of them is providing our advertisers with the right presentation products across all the different presentation portals, whether they're websites, our own products, Facebook and other products. But the other one is to aggregate leads for them and basically vend leads to them that are cost effective, where they know exactly what's going on. And so our salespeople actually are trained at this point, you know, to you know, the great American phrase, eat their young, to cannibalize the business. And so big advertisers, our salespeople will actually say to them, don't buy that print ad because you're not going to get exactly what you want out of that. You know, here's the diversified portfolio of leads that you need from our ad network, from our Google relationship, from our online products, and from our mobile products. It's not an easy thing to take a dyed-in-the-wool Yellow Pages salesperson, you know, and take them through that process. But we have a very vigorous training regime, and we have exited about 30% of our sales force over the course of the last 2 years that did not actually make the cut in terms of that training. So at this point, we have a pretty good, pretty digitally oriented sales force. But you know, I think also John would say to you, this is a marketplace that's moving very, very quickly. You know, and so basically, it is a continuous improvement process with the sales force. And there are a lot of them. I have 1,800 salespeople in the UK.
So Mark, you seem quite optimistic and positive to the future. Is that reflected in your financials? Is the UK business growing?
Well, no, you know, in some respects it is, in some respects it's not. So if you were to split my business into the new media business and the print business, the new media business, you know, is like a rocket ship, you know. The print business, you know, is on a steady, you know, decline in this marketplace. And the irony, you know, for us is, look, I mean, when we put ads up for our customers, every single media that we sell them, we put a separate call tracking number on. So we have really unparalleled insight into the productivity of the print product, the online product, the mobile products, and the transactional products like the ad networks and Google. And on average, you know, we're getting about half as much money out of the print ad leads as Google's getting out of their leads, which, you know, causes me a bit of pain, but I look at it on the positive side and I say to myself, that's an opportunity. You know, I can get that money back.
Thank you. John, you obviously head up Reachlocal's European business. And what I'm interested to understand is, are local businesses, SMEs, small businesses, created equal? i.e., are they the same in Europe like they are in the US? Is it the same sales strategy you execute in the UK? And I believe you want to go to continental Europe, you are pursuing in the US? Or is the European local advertising market harder to penetrate for you? And are the overall, I think in the Yellow Page traditional market, the average revenues per advertiser are in the US around $3,000 and in Europe around $1,500. How does it work for you?
Yeah, a couple things. One, our company is very aware of how fragmented the local market is, first of all. So small businesses, the personality of the highly entrepreneurial owner in most cases drives a large portion of this. I have been, you know, I've been in Europe growing the business for close to 3 years now, and I have to say I've been very impressed and a little taken aback at the similarities that exist across businesses. You know, at a very crude level, they want to make money, they want to make payroll, and they want their marketing investment to provide a tangible return. And I think that that's not going to go away because that's how we do business as well. The differences, though, that we find are primarily on the educational side of the business. So, for example, when we this year opened up in Manchester and Birmingham, the education levels of many of the businesses, they had never even tried an online marketing solution. And that can make the sale a little bit longer, but it can also breed much more loyalty in our product when it works. So I think obviously you have differences among verticals, but just to reiterate again, you know, the number that gets me up in the morning is that you've got a market online that's only 16 billion right now on a $60 billion spend per annum. And we know where people are spending their time to research local products and services. It's a massive market. I think that we need to understand the intricacies of every market we go into and work with those businesses. And you know, there's no shortcut around developing a relationship, as the Yellow Pages has, you know, shown us over the years. So I think that you'll see us continue to invest heavily in training and developing our people to be able to serve these businesses.
Okay, thank you very much. So Mark, you told us about Yellow Pages today, and it's not at all as grim as the public awareness suggests. Tell us, where's Yale going to head? Where's your industry going to head? Are you going to be an online-only business? And eventually, will you be able to show return on advertisement like a Reachlocal, like a Google, like many others are going to prove it? Or is it hard to do because it's a bit of a overall holistic online advertising solution you provide?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good question, and I think that the practical answer is that we're already doing that today because of the fact that we meter all the phone numbers. I mean, I'm by far the largest consumer of telephone numbers in the UK at this point. I have about 400,000 advertisers in the UK. About 220,000 of them have one or more lines that are metering their media. You know, I think the thing that's important to understand about this, and this is why I said we're a transactional business, is that whether it's Reachlocal or us, everybody in this marketplace is trying to basically take the advertisers in the local marketplace on a journey into a transactional world, because that's where this industry is going. Whether you are Reachlocal or whether you are Yale, the business is going to be transactional within the next 3 to 5 years. You know, Reachlocal's business obviously is mostly transactional right now. Unfortunately, I'm a regulated monopoly in the UK, so my ability to transactionalize the print product is a little bit more difficult right now, but we'll get to that as well. Everything will be denominated in calls at the end of the day for these advertisers, right? I think the other thing that's really important to understand is that the you know, advertisers, there are two things. One is advertisers don't like to buy advertising, actually. You know, so advertisers look at advertising as a kind of necessary evil.
Much work?
No, basically they all think everybody should love them, right? And that word of mouth should drive all the business that they have. And they buy advertising to a certain extent because you know, it's a risk mitigation strategy, or because they're efficient transactors, because they actually can complete the loop, know what the assets they have and how they're going to utilize them, and will buy enough leads to basically manage that, right? And so a big part of what we do and we'll have to do in the future, and what Reachlocal does and we'll have to do in the future, is to help those advertisers actually manage the volumes of leads and qualify those leads as they get them. And the interesting thing, at least from our perspective, is that this is a lot more labor-intensive business than the print Yellow Pages was. I mean, the print Yellow Pages was a sweet business, you know? You showed up at the edge of town, you know, you attacked the town for 6 months, you know, it was like kind of drive-by shooting in a certain way, you know, and you got, you know, fabulous returns, and you did a great job for them because basically you built a great ad for them and you delivered a lot of business. You know, when you look at the online transactional businesses, these are more complex businesses. You know, it's more complex to explain to the advertiser what the media choices are, and it's more complex to actually manage the business as well.
Will there always be paper Yellow Pages?
I think that probably there will be, you know, for at least the next 10 or 15 years. I don't know the answer to that question, obviously, and I wish I did. You know, the bottom line is that what you're really seeing here is contextual usage is really beginning to emerge. So this year, we moved all of our directories from the big format into a compact format that slips through a letterbox. Our usage increased by 42% on the print products because they were smaller and they fit in the kitchen better, okay? So what you're really looking at is, and it was as the guys who were talking about TV were talking about, you're talking about a multiplicity of uses based on context, right? If you look at our mobile usage, which is increasing 10% month on month in the UK, what you see is that almost all of it's incremental. The day parts are 3 o'clock on Thursday afternoon to 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. that will change and it will become more, evened out. But what you're really looking at is what's the thing that you're closest to in terms of the media that you're going to use to drive, to fix your problem.
Sure.
So I do have to say I worked with Mark at AOL, and I can tell you one thing Yale did right is they got Mark. So I have tremendous respect for him, and I always shake a little bit if I'm going to disagree with him. But the one area that I would disagree is we have very successfully, I don't think our business would be around, established to the local businesses in the markets we operate that embracing the acquisition, maintenance, and retention of your customers, in large part fully online, is the way to go. Because the cost per acquisition is so attractive and the returns can be quantified. And I believe that, I would say that the majority of our customer base that is with us for multiple years is very much embracing online marketing. They see it as a whole new chapter in their business. And it's just not on spend. So I would say that is something that the small businesses, it's changing their view of advertising. Second of all, I would say that one of the key differentials between Reachlocal and Yale, and I do agree with Mark that Yale is doing this in the market today in many areas very effectively, but we are not biased to any one source. We have to go where the leads are because we don't have a phone book. We don't have a publishing asset. And if the leads are with Google, we need to put them there. If the leads are on Facebook, we need to put them there. And I think that the small business is going to expect more independence going forward in that regard. Yeah.
Okay. We continue to stay in advertising, but now we go from local to big advertisers. So I say thank you very much to Mark and John. And